I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota this week. We're having a seminar plus personal one-on-one spiritual encounters. Life-changing opportunities for people to find the root issues that are troubling them. It can be you if you meet me in a seminar city, or you come to our beautiful counseling center in Phoenix, Arizona. Don't put it off though. We're scheduled far in advance and you need to get your date lined up just as soon as possible. This past week, the National Aeronautics Space Administration, we call it NASA, released news that they're planning a $30 billion taxpayers' expense project to put a woman on the moon before 2024. I'm not fundamentally opposed to space exploration, but in this particular case, it is a gender equality issue. They want a woman on the moon. Now, we've been there 50 years ago, and all we've got to show for it are a few rocks and some beautiful pictures of planet Earth. But that's not what upsets me. What upsets me is that they've named this project Artemis, after the Greek demon god known as Diana to the Romans. This was a Greek goddess of fertility, the daughter of Zeus and the twin sister of Apollo. If you've read my book, Jezebel, your number one spiritual enemy, you know that in chapter 2 I detail all the prototypes of the Jezebel spirit. Artemis is listed there, along with Ishtar, Isis, Aphrodite, Venus, and many other similar Jezebel expressions throughout history. Artemis was known to the Greeks as the goddess of the hunt, of the wilderness, of the wild, and most of all, the goddess of the moon. Can you believe that? We're going back to the ancient worship of the moon to name a scientific exploration. In fact, this demon was said to put diseases on women and then take it away. We read about this in Acts chapter 19, when Paul had a great revival in the city of Ephesus. The Bible tells us he was there to cast out demons. If you read the 12th verse, it says that in absentia with handkerchiefs, demons were driven out of people, evil spirits left. In fact, so great was the impact of this display of the supernatural and the gospel that all the good converted citizens of Ephesus had a huge bonfire, and they burned all of their occult paraphernalia. This upset an idol maker, a silversmith by the name of Demetrius, and he caused a riot. Two of Paul's close friends, Gaius and Aristarchus, were seized by the mob, and had it not been for Paul's friends, he might have been killed that day. I have been to Ephesus, or the site of this ancient city. It's near Izmir, Turkey right now. And you can see the fallen great temple of Diana. But there's a museum nearby where they have statues of Diana, Artemis, Aphrodite. And these ancient millennia-old statues tell you what this goddess was all about. Because Artemis is depicted with more than a dozen pendulant breasts hanging from her, emphasizing the Jezebel nature of her eroticism. Artemis is a goddess, a demon that opposes Christianity. And yet, they want to take billions of our dollars for social engineering to make sure we have a woman on the moon. This is an affront to God, not because they want to send a woman, but because they're calling this thing Artemis, naming it after a demon god. I know what they're doing is politically correct at our times. However, this is going to bring an additional curse upon our nation. Can you imagine this? Naming it after a moon goddess? This particular goddess is also known as Hecate, the primary goddess of witchcraft. It's not the trajectory of the moonshot that concerns me, but the moral trajectory of where this is leading us in America today to increased demonization. That's why we have the International School of Exorcism. That's why we're raising up hundreds and hundreds of trained exorcist and deliverance ministers with the finest knowledge available on how to confront the forces of darkness. And they're in many nations of the world. And through our advanced academy, they increase their knowledge to wage spiritual warfare in these turbulent times that, because of what I've just described, are only going to get worse. You today need to enroll in the International School of Exorcism, because if this plan of NASA goes forward, there are going to be more demons of Artemis, Jezebel, that we're going to have to confront through the blood of Christ and the name of Jesus.